Breath of the Wild was a genre-defining moment, not just for the Zelda series, but for our perceptions of what an open-world game could be. Its climb anything, go anywhere, exploration-first approach to game design was bold and refreshing, at a time when the Zelda franchise seemed to be in a major rut. It's not a game without flaws, however, and probably its biggest one is its storytelling, dull and plodding, with too many exposition dumps and characters with an arc the length of a banana. This didn't ruin Breath of the Wild for me. I still had a fantastic time with it, especially on that first playthrough, which was absolute magic. But I still had serious misgivings about Nintendo's new dialogue-heavy, directionless approach to storytelling in Zelda. Naturally, I hoped for better in the sequel, but unfortunately, Tears of the Kingdom is plagued by all the same problems that should have been fixed in the writer's room in Breath of the Wild. To be clear, I enjoyed my time with Tears of the Kingdom. If you're looking for a rating, I'd put it in good but not great, a few notches below Breath of the Wild, which I think is the superior game here. So I didn't come here to hate on everything about Tears of the Kingdom, but I do want to look at its storytelling. Today, we're going to use one character as a case study, because I think the problems with their quest are pretty representative of Tears of the Kingdom's storytelling overall. That character is Tulin.
That's not fair at all!
By the way, I'm Kiro. On my other channel, link in description, I make videos like this.
I'm just kidding you, Daphne. Let's go get a pint. I'm Rivali.
But I also like to make video essays that nobody watches, and this is where you'll find them. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Also, I'll be using some clips from YouTuber Sleepy Longplays in this video. Thanks to them for making the clips available, and give them a sub if you like super long playthroughs. I'll start by summarizing Tulin's quest in Tears of the Kingdom, making a few comments as I go. Then we can talk about how Team Zelda could have done things differently. Link has been tasked with investigating the strange phenomena that have appeared since the return of Ganondorf. This takes him to Rito Village, where we find Tulin having an argument with his parents. Tulin wants to investigate the storm winds raging above the village. His dad says it's too dangerous. Tulin wants to go anyway. So we have a pretty standard setup here. Tulin is young and reckless. He needs to learn some wisdom before he can take on life's bigger challenges, and it looks like Link is going to help him learn it. Good stuff, no problem so far. We take off after Tulin, who disappears into the mountains hunting for food. While helping him retrieve his lost bow, we're ambushed and have to work together to defeat some enemies. A couple of Rito warriors see this and praise Tulin for his teamwork skills. One of the Rito even says, Tulin will be the finest Rito warrior of all once he understands the value of working with his allies. A quote from Tulin's dad, Tiba. We pause for a moment as Tulin realizes what faith his dad has in him and how important the value of teamwork is. And that's the end of Tulin's questline. What a nice story. Oh no, wait, it's barely the beginning actually. We've got to get all the way to the top of the blizzard, enter the Stormwind Arc, complete the dungeon, and defeat the boss, all while using Tulin's Gust ability to help us. And there's nothing wrong with this section of gameplay. That is to say, it's no worse than any other dungeon in this game. But I think you see the problem here from a storytelling perspective. We haven't even begun Tulin's quest in earnest, and his character arc is already finished. We've been rushed through a heavy-handed lesson about the value of teamwork. Some birds stood around and explained the plot to each other. And now we're off to beat a pretty mid-dungeon, while Tulin goes on being the bestest boy, with no conflict at all. I don't know about you, but I find that pretty unsatisfying. The thing is, Zelda games used to do a lot more, with a lot less, in terms of characterization. Whether we're talking about Groose, who grew from a rival to a friend in Skyward Sword, or the Skull Kid, who has his own redemption arc over the course of Majora's Mask. The Zelda team have always been able to bring a strong emotional core to their storytelling with minimal dialogue. Show don't tell, as the saying goes. Modern Zelda, on the other hand, seems to be full of characters who yap and yap while never saying anything. It could be that this is a translation issue to some extent. I don't speak Japanese, so I can't tell whether some subtlety has been lost in the English localization. But I do know that I don't need every minor character spouting a wiki's worth of text at me. Less is more, guys, come on. The obvious fix for Tulin's story, in my opinion, is to have his character arc play out over the course of the dungeon and boss, and even beyond into the rest of the main quest, not just the preamble. It could look something like this. Tulin, annoyed by his father's restrictions, decides to head straight for the Stormwind Arc. We follow him up on the bouncing pads as before, but somewhere near the top, Tulin gets overconfident. He decides to fly straight in, ignoring his father's advice, and Link's frantic waving to try and get him to stop. The last time we see him, he's being sucked into the whirlwind, and he vanishes completely. We race to the top of the storm and drop down to find the Stormwind Arc. On landing, we're greeted by an unfamiliar Rito, the Sage of Wind. He tells us that Tulin is trapped somewhere in the dungeon, and we have to save him. Sage would love to help, of course, but for plot reasons he can't do anything. Maybe he's a ghost. Yeah, let's go with that. Now we have to complete a series of puzzles and combat trials that don't involve just farting into a wind turbine. What fun. Maybe we can switch back and forth between Link and Tulin at this point, using teamwork to solve puzzles together that can't be completed alone. See how that ties in with the theme, Nintendo? This all culminates in freeing Tulin from his prison. But we've accidentally freed something else too. Now we can finally fight side by side with Tulin, using his gust power to help overcome Colgera, the boss with the minty fresh breath. Sorry, it just really looks like a certain toothpaste brand, and I can't unsee it. While we're at it, let's dial up the difficulty of this fight a notch, just to make it more interesting. With Colgate defeated, we land on the Ark and rejoin the Sage of Wind, who has a special gift for Tulin. The spirit avatar thingy that lets Tulin lend his power to Link. With the Stormwinds gone, Tulin's parents arrive, because naturally they've been worried about their son and were out looking for him. Tiba praises Tulin and personally delivers the line from before. You're the finest Rito warrior of all, now you understand the value of working with your allies. Isn't that much better than having some hired goon say it? With that, Tulin does a victory dance because he's finally the bestest boy. And scene. Of course, there is another solution here, Zelda team. Just go back to having characters that don't say much. Please? Well, that's it. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on Tulin's quest, and Tears of the Kingdom in general, so please comment below. I will read them all, even if I can't respond right away. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and thanks for watching. Oh, and check out my other channel where I do Scottish dubs of various game cutscenes. I've got a whole Zelda playlist over there, so have at it. Catch you later, everybody. Bye.